Hello and welcome back to another episode of Sitar Gurukul. Today's lesson is rather interesting. No, I'm not yet going to show you what I showed you on the last episode where I wanted you to find out what Tehai I played and from where. I think I showed you two or three variations of that, and I still want to give you some time before you figure it out. In today's episode, we are going to even go deeper into the spaces that we have been exploring so far. So far, I told you about the theory about trying to almost visualize or understand or try to see or have a better perspective of the internal 4 by 4 by 4 by 4 that system that goes into the 16 beat cycle. So right now we are going to talk about the spaces that are inside every 4. So if you could call it looking at it from a more macro perspective, so a lot more zoomed in. So today's class is going to be about playing inside those individual 4 beats. So just a recap, we have explored 4s like this: 2, 3, 4, and then when it's time to shift from the first 4 to the second 4, we have played a variation like 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So we've done that. We have also explored how to play different notes and not play the same thing over and over again in any of the 4s, like so we've also learned how to do that. In today's episode, we are going to talk about those individual spaces. Now, what do I mean? So count with me. I'll count 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're going to notice that there is quite some time between each one of those beats. So I'm talking about the space in between every beat. So 1, 2. So I'm talking about the space in between 1 and 2. That can also be used, but we can also do something else. Before we dig into that level, we could have a slightly simpler approach. And what I mean is, if you could divide the first 4, so this 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So what if I told you that we could play something on all of those notes or all of those syllables or all of those beats? So let's target the last 4 of this 4. So 1, 2, 3, and from the moment I say 4 till the next beat, which is also going to be 1, so we are going to be playing something within those that time frame. So let's start. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you notice that when I say 4, the amount of time that I'm getting, half of it I'm playing something, the other half I'm keeping silent. So that silence is the time that we will be allowing ourselves just to understand what's going on and give us enough time to get ready for what we're going to play. So just I played a variation of 3 notes, which is dhanisa. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Dhanisa. 1. So the moment if I have to pinpoint where I'm doing this from, so chida chida da makes one. It makes one beat. So chida chida da chida chida da chida chida da chida. That's where you stop. Chida and chida da. Chida da. So you have 3 strokes for that one beat, the other half I'm talking about. So those 3 strokes on the second half of the chida chida da movement format we are playing, chida, that with that out of the way, you have chida da. Those 3 strokes you can play over here. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, three, two, three. Chi da da. 1 2 3 4 5. 1 2 and then 3 4 5 we're playing. But inside there's also a half a beat gap which you don't have to worry about. Just get into the groove, try to understand, try to feel what's going on. You don't have to calculate it much at this moment, because if you really try to understand mathematically what's going on, it's just going to make you even more confused. So just go along with the groove. If it feels right to you, then it probably is. 2 3 4. 1 2 3 4. So chida chida da chida chida da chida chida da chida chidhani sa. Chida chidhani sa. Now when you're done with that, now it's time to play with the other half. So you could think that I did mention that it's actually a laikari or a polyrhythm that's going on, but I'll explain on a later episode on what actually you're learning, the breakdown of this polyrhythm. Right now, I just want you to follow the groove, get inside, kind of dance with it, over it with your sitar. So we played dhani sa. If we add 3 more notes, then it's going to create a perfect 1 beat length or portion where it's going to fit in right in there perfectly. So 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 within that time frame of 1 beat, you're playing 7 notes. Chida chida da chida chida da chida chida da 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Chida chida da chida chida da chida chida da 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Chida chida. So I'm sure you get the idea. Now what you have to do is bring it down to a speed. I don't recommend anything but 40 BPM, because when you're playing this, you're actually playing more than double of that speed. Enough of the mathematics. What we're going to do is you're going to measure out, once you're confident that you know the exact spacing of 4 chida chidajas, so 4 things to play in 4 beats. So 1 2 3 4. When you play that, I want you to really calculate, really try to feel the exact spacing of all of those 4 beats. Once you've done that, you play the first 3 beat, and the last beat you play anything that has with a similar speed that has 7 notes. In this case, I am playing dhani sa re sani sa. So in Yaman, it's not really recommended that you play dhani sa re. But for starters, since these frets are really close to each other, I'm going to not pay much attention to that rule. But eventually, you're going to change this line that you're playing. So one more time. 2 3 1 2 3 4. Sorry. 1 2 3 4. 1 2 3 4. So I'm sure you're understanding the idea. We can play a lot more, and eventually from this episode, on every episode we're going to take 1 more note, and eventually we're going to play something for the entire 16 beat and come up with a tehai, which can be a sensible way to kind of end this format that we are playing. So I'm going to show you more on the next class. If you have any questions regarding any of these lessons that we are providing, you're most welcome to mail me on the given email address, or write down your mail on the comment section, and we'll get in touch with you. So see you again on the next class. Till then, take care and happy days.